stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but a means to have something playing in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy YouTube, you find that a lot of the content you watch is very visually engaging, and you spend several hours watching videos and yet haven't gotten very far in your own project. So my channel is a solution to that. Now, for today's episode, I'm going to be revisiting the Tempestry project that is available on Ravelry, as well as kits that you can purchase on their Etsy site, and below I will link that information in the description box. But this is, I guess, a part 2 or part 3. I can't remember how far I was the last time I had filmed, but I did promise you guys last time I wouldn't film any other projects until I got further along in this one. And this is separate than my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series because this is an anniversary gift for my partner's cousin, and they will be celebrating their first wedding anniversary this upcoming October of 2019. So I figured I'd get a head start on this one and kind of segue deviate from my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series to work on this. And I am once again projecting my voice. I am actually downstairs in my living room / dining room where the only AC is available. We were going to install one in the bedroom, but because it's not designed for that type of window we haven't quite installed it yet, but we felt it was safer to have it in the first floor window so that if it did fall, it was only like maybe 5 feet, not even 5 feet, maybe like 3 or 4 feet instead of 2 stories. And I'll also say that my kitties, since they are able to free roam in the living room area, may stop by, and I will probably have several jump cuts if they decide to come in my lap and say hello, because that'll take away from the video, and it looks like I have one investigating right now, so he might just say hi. So of course I'll let you guys see him, but for the sake of time, oh yep, and he doesn't like it when I talk to myself either, so he's making his usual "are you okay" noises. It's fine. So if he does jump in my lap, or if my girl jumps in my lap, I will probably have to stop the video because my phone only allows me to film for so long, and then I'll get back to it. So the Tempestry project is the one we are looking at today, and this, I'll show you, oh, hi boy, maybe you can't see him, but you can see his tail. Alright, I'll set that aside because I don't want any fur getting on my knitting projects, which is why I generally don't knit down here, but because it is so hot in my craft room right now, I just cannot take it. And as you've seen from other videos where I complained about how hot it was then, it's even hotter now. We've had a heat wave. So here's Koji. Here, say hi, baby. He is, I'll just tell you a little bit about him. He's 4 years old. He is a domestic medium-haired cat, gray tabby, pretty standard, house cat. But he's very special to me. Actually, one of my former coworkers had found him and his litter mates at another coworker's house, and the shelter that she was going to take them to was really full because it was kitten season at the time. So she decided to foster his mom and his 3 other siblings in her bathroom, and I was one of the lucky people who was able to adopt him. And she kept the mother, who actually recently passed away, and one of his sisters, who's named Gwen, and her in-laws have his brother, and a friend of her husband has another sister. So they're all in happy homes now, well cared for. Okay, so he's chilling out. All right, I can continue. I was a little worried that he was going to want to linger, but he jumped down on his own. But yeah, that's Koji for you. It's not a full translation, but Ko means little in Japanese, and Oji, which in Romaji, or the English spelling of the Japanese word, is O-U-J-I, and Oji is prince. So it should be Oji Ko, but I decided to call him Ko-Oji, which I kind of slur and just call him Ko-Oji, which a lot of people do. And his sister, Kabu, it means turnip in Japanese. Long story, I could talk about that another day, but anyway, my older cat who had passed away a few years ago was named Kokuo, which means emperor, and long story on his naming, but when I had all three, I wanted to keep the K name theme and decided to just reverse Koji's name. So he's Koji, Little Prince, Kabu's turnip, and Kokuo was emperor or king, you know, ruler essentially. He was my first house cat, and he was definitely the boss. He was so chill. I miss him a lot, but that's another time, another place. But right now, let me go back to showing you how far I got in the Tempestry Project. Escapes those strings. If you've already knit the Tempestry Project yourself, you may know that the instructions suggest or indicate that you should carry your yarn between color changes. I tried to do that. That's all explained in the video where I first tried working on this and showed you guys. But I am cutting the strings. If you are just watching this one and haven't watched the first of me working on this, I am cutting the ends, hoping and praying for the best that I have enough yarn to continue through. But if not, it is the Wool of the Andes yarn through the Knit Picks website. So all I'll have to do is use my color card, find out what colors I'm run out of, and order some more. And it's relatively cheap. It's, I think, 100% Peruvian wool is the fiber content of this yarn, and it's one of their cheaper, or I guess I shouldn't say cheap like it's not good, but it's one of their less expensive yarn lines at their site, so it's very affordable to get more. I just don't necessarily like the feel of this one, but I was thinking last night that I could probably just make myself some sort of kind of scratchy socks. I don't know if my feet are super sensitive to this, so, you know, worst comes to worst, I need to buy more yarn. I don't need a lot of it, but I would have enough left over to probably knit at least a pair of worsted weight socks if it came to it. And I'm not so upset about the colors. I'm definitely gonna need probably like more reds and things because those are the ones I'm using the most of. But if I did, I have a lot of things that I would need to wear red for, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. And they're socks. Not many people are gonna see them on my feet, so it'll be fine. I think I will have a solution to use that yarn if I end up needing to buy more and only needing a little bit left of it. So I believe I said last time that I was in the hundreds, and I lied. I'm actually on row 99 now, so I'm almost there. And honestly, I've tried to knit this several times, to get in the groove of knitting, and it's just been so hot. I haven't been motivated really to knock out a lot of this project because it's a little time consuming with knitting a row, cutting it, unless there's a couple rows in a row that use the same color, so it's not as tedious, because like I said, I couldn't figure out how to carry the yarn and purl on the side that I needed to and all that stuff. It wasn't coming out well, so I just decided to knit each row and cut it. And that is taking time, which I don't necessarily appreciate, but because I don't have the patience to figure out how to carry the yarn the proper way, I'm just going to deal with it like that and knot the ends when I'm done and make it all look nice and sewn in. And I keep smacking my lip. I'm so sorry. It's a habit I've just formed, and I can't seem to get out of it, but I realize I do it as soon as it happens, so I'll try not to. But if the smacking happens, I'm hoping to get a mic one day with a screen that kind of softens things like those little odd noises like that, and maybe it won't be as bad in the future. So here is my color card. It has Celsius on this side and Fahrenheit on this side, so I'm using the Fahrenheit side. And I have my row chart here. Every day is a row, so 365 days in a year. and you have 365 rows of that year and in that town, and each row is the day and the highest recorded temperature for that day. And I am doing Warney, Texas of 2018 because that is the town that my partner's cousin got married in. It's actually the town that I don't think they grew up there, the cousin, but they've lived there a very long time. So it's kind of like their hometown, sort of, kind of. I think they lived in San Antonio and then they moved to Warney. So it's still home, kind of, at least for the cousin's parents. And I am on the color conch or conch, depending on who's saying it. But I say conch. I like its softer sound, conch. And it's like a coral because it's a conch shell, you know. If you don't know, a conch shell is it's a seashell. And I actually ate conch when I was in the Bahamas a long time ago. It wasn't bad. Yes, Koji. Yes, I know I'm talking to people on YouTube. I know. I'm sorry. So conch is this color here, and we're just gonna find it. I have my whole bag of yarn I had to bring downstairs, so I'm just gonna fish around for it. Alright, and let me look ahead. So it switches between conch and then caution, which is, oh, nope, that's creme brulee. Where's caution? Oh, here we go. I think that's caution. Maybe. Oh. Yeah. Caution and no. Alright, so I'm looking ahead to see what I need to have out on the table at this point. And it's conch, conch, caution, conch, and then orange, which is obviously enough orange. Thankfully, that color is pretty easy to tell. And then papaya heather, which actually I don't really like that color that much. It's this one. It's kind of like red and it has like some streaks of like a mustardy, yellowy, orangey color inside. I just don't like that, but that's me. What else? Victorian, which is this one. Kind of like a deep red or dusty red kind of color. And caution again and an orange and papaya. Okay, so those are the colors I'll be using for a long time. Combination of those, it doesn't switch. I don't think it switches for a long time. So those colors I have out and ready to go. Why did I bring this one out? What is this one? Is this? Oh, yeah, semolina. I don't need that for a long time. Actually, the rest of this page, I don't have semolina at all. So let's get conch. Oh no, I thought I left something. I left my little scissors upstairs, but I have some. One moment, and I will return. I had to run over to the entertainment center / table / there's something weird going on over there, but I found my little safety scissors. I usually use these just to cut open my cat litter bags that are over there in the corner, but I didn't want to go all the way upstairs again because it's scary. It's so hot up there. I hate it up there right now. I have fans going in every room and it's still way too hot. I even did some of my makeup downstairs because I tried doing foundation and it was just melting off me, so I just have powder on. So if I'm starting to look ghosty, it's actually that it's the stuff I got from Shop Miss A, and when I just put it on my bare face, it started like turning ashy. When I first applied it, it was fine. But anyway, this isn't what this video is about. Let's get into it. So conch is my first color. This is tricky. Just doing it on my lap like this, so let me get enough. Oh. lost my yarn. Hold on. My yarn ball just rolled off across the floor. Thankfully, I had just swept before I started filming, and I swept last night, but with the wind from the fans and my cats shedding and being hot, there's just fur everywhere right now, and it's one of the reasons I don't want to be down here, because I don't want this to have any more fur on it than it would by chance of transfer, because it's a lot of work to make stuff not fuzzy if you just live in a house with animals and have to try to keep things separate from them when they always want to hang out with you when you don't necessarily want them on you, especially when it's so hot. Like, I split my yarn there. I find it very interesting. They really want to cuddle lately, and it's so hot and they're fuzzy, so I'm like, why do you want to be on my neck right now? Like, I don't get that. It's kind of funny. I'll take what I can get for sure, because there'll come a time when I won't be able to cuddle them, but right now, really? It's like 100 degrees in here. Like, you really want to lie on me? And then I'm sticky, so their fur's sticking to me, and I get it in my eye, and it's just very uncomfortable altogether, which is why I'm not a summer person. Like, I love fall and spring. You've heard me say it several times now, but I can't deal with this humidity. I can't deal with this, heat index of, 95 or something. It was hot yesterday, so hot. I tried taking a nap, and I just woke up in a puddle, and I took a shower, and everything. So it's Saturday. Let's talk about something nice, not the weather. What are you guys doing today? It's midday here. It's already after 1. I woke up late because I was up late binge watching this Amazon series called Fleabag. If you've heard of it, let me know. My supervisor actually gave me a ride home yesterday because it was so hot, and she was nice. She's like, okay, it's really hot. I'll give you a ride real quick. So she let me know about it, and I didn't think much of it, but then I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I have Amazon Prime. It's free. What's the harm? And I actually ended up really liking it. It's like a dark comedy. I'm pretty emotional when I watch things that are just touch on my heartstrings, so I ended up crying probably more than laughing, but I thought it was a good mini-series. There's 2 seasons. Each season is 6 episodes, about 30. Okay, dude, I get it. I'm talking to myself. I got it. Usually he's asleep right now, but I think because I'm in his zone, he's just like, what are you doing? So, he has to make it known that he's not pleased with my behavior right now. But anyway, I got home, did my nap, took my shower. I was just futzing around, knitting something else. Shame on me, I didn't want to bring anything down here, so I have a project at my desk, and I was watching some stuff online, and I figured I'd do some weird background videos, because in case I had to be very visually engaged with the series, which I did. So it was later on, 9 or 10 o'clock, when, it was probably around 10:30 or so when I finally went to Amazon and looked up the series and started watching it, and I was 2 episodes in. I was like, hey, this isn't so bad. She said the first season wasn't all that great, and she suggested that I skip it and just go to season 2, but I thought I'd give it a shot, because why not? Why not see what's so bad about it? And it ended up not being so bad to me, but it was definitely something I think I would have watched with my partner, because sometimes we like to watch stuff like that and just have a conversation about the characters. Like, we'll watch a movie and it could be something simple, and we're like, well, why did they do that? Like, what do you think was going through their head? Or do you know somebody who would do something like that? Or, just kind of try to relate it to something in our own life, or just talk about it in general. And I ended up staying up till about 4:30 in the morning watching both seasons. I was just like, let me just knock it out. So I ended up waking up around 9, but then I decided just to snooze my alarm, get up at closer to 10, and didn't really get into my day until around 10:30, 11. So this is a very lazy day so far. And I still have to do laundry. Since I did my chores last night and did a touch-up this morning, I don't have to do that, but I have laundry because I've been sweating through all of my clothes and just throwing them in the hamper, and I usually, depending on if I'm wearing something I like a lot, then I'll wash in the middle of the week, but I tend to reserve laundry for Saturdays and Sundays, and since it's hot today, I figured why not do it earlier, so then the sun and the heat can just dry them out real fast, and then I can do more loads, because I usually air dry pretty much everything except for socks and underwear and pajamas and kind of hang around the house clothes, because their integrity isn't as important as my office wear and pants and stuff like that. So I try to do that. I really don't like going in the basement because there's cobwebs and spiders and things and stuff that just doesn't seem to interest me, but it's got to be done, so we'll see. Other than that, I really had no other plans today besides knitting with you guys, uploading, well, not uploading because it takes a long time, but editing the video at least, and converting it, and perhaps uploading it later on in the evening, and working on some other projects that I have, knitting wise, just kind of trying to lay low for the weekend. My partner is out of town actually until tomorrow evening, so the last couple days they left out Thursday, so I didn't see them when I got home from work, and I just kind of do my own thing, kind of enjoy the quiet, I guess. If you feel sometimes like it's a vacation when someone's out of town, let me know in the comments. I mean, we get along great. It's just sometimes I just want to be in silence, and I don't get that often. So it's kind of nice sometimes just to decompress and kind of do my own thing without having to engage with anybody. But that's just me, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, they're out of town for a bit, and I'm here with the kitties. And surprisingly, my girl hasn't come by yet. She's usually the one who does decide to make a scene out of when I am doing something else. She'll hunt, quote unquote, a toy, catch it, and let me know of her victory. Sometimes if I'm in the craft room for a while, she'll stick her paws under the door and meow. But I guess Koji is just the one who wants to have all the attention today. And I'm surprised he hasn't jumped on my lap again. But I think he might have realized it's pretty hot, and he doesn't want to do that now. But he's made his yowling. He's done, for now. Oopsie, sorry. So this is Caution. This yellow I'm knitting with right now is Caution. And like I did before, I just knit a row, cut it. And this one is just one row. And then I'm going to Conch again, and then Orange. And I believe I have a couple rows of, nope, just Papaya, Victorian, Caution, Orange, and then Papaya for 3 rows after that. So I have a bit to go before I get to my repeating rows. So yeah, what are your plans this weekend? Are you going through a heat wave where you live? If you're stateside, are you in a part of the country where it's super hot and you're just dying? Or do you love this weather? Do you have AC? Do you only have fans, or do you have nothing at all? If I didn't have the AC on right now, I might not even be filming today because it's that hot without it. And my home is set up poorly. There's no way I can get a cross breeze. Everything, it's like, older homes. Not that I love a block top, isolated room where I have each room defined, but sometimes I like to arrange things and kind of define the space myself. I could go either way, but when it's a hot day like this, I'd really prefer an open floor plan with windows that can open and are in a good cross breeze area, so I don't need to run my AC because that gets expensive when it's on pretty much 24/7. And I left it on all day yesterday because it was already so hot when I woke up, and because I was going to be at work, I didn't want my cats to suffer. But you know, I got home. They were upstairs where there's no AC, and it's the hottest. Like, you go up the landing and it's like night and day how hot upstairs is compared to down here with just the one unit. And I have it set for, I think, 73 to be as cool as 73 degrees in here, and it has not shut off since I turned it on around 10 o'clock, which is crazy. Like, it hasn't cooled off enough that it's on eco mode, so it will shut off when it's reached a certain temperature, and it's still running. And yesterday it was pretty much running all day as well, and I don't know. It's craziness. Okay. Ooh, I need to keep track of marking these. Alright, so we did caution, now we're on conch again. And I'm making sure that I pull enough so it doesn't roll off the table or off my lap, and then the cats want to go after it. So that should be enough for me. Yeah, it's supposed to cool down tomorrow and be like, I think mid-80s, not mid-80s, like low 80s, high 70s, which will offer some relief. I don't know what my partner's going to do because they're even more sensitive to the heat than I am. Like, if I'm moving around, I get hot really fast. But if I'm sitting, for the most part, I can pretty much tolerate it. But if I have to do a lot of activity and it's hotter than 70 degrees, then I'm like, nope, no thank you. So, I don't know what they're going to do. I think last year they ended up sleeping down here a few nights because it was so hot in the bedroom, and they had rather had stayed in front of the AC, so they slept on the couch. And I got to have the whole bed to myself, which is nice. We're both kind of like starfish, where we really spread out. They're kind of worse than I am because they turn a lot, and then they like to sleep in the middle of the bed even if there is somebody else there. And then I'm like stuck right on the edge. And then if the cats are in there, it's even worse, and it's crazy. But when it's just me, I get to sleep in the middle and get to experience what it's like to have all the space. And we have a full-size bed to give you some perspective here of what I mean when I'm on this corner of the bed and they're in the middle. There's really no other place for me to go. Yeah, so just kind of chilling this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Probably more laundry if I don't get through what I want to wash tonight, since it has to air dry. It's just, it's summertime, I go through so much laundry because I have to wash everything because I get so sweaty from walking to work and walking back home from work. If I'm home, then I'm just in the AC, and I try not to go out if I don't have to, so generally when I'm here I don't get super sweaty in like clothes that I wear a lot. So like if it's just my lounge clothes, then it's fine if I leave them in the laundry for a few days because I have other lounge clothes, but my work clothes that are cool and summer related are limited, so I have to wash those a lot more often, especially the hotter it gets. So it's like kind of a pain. So I guess going back to Fleabag, just randomly, if you watched the series, let me know what you think, and if you're going to watch it, let me know what you think afterwards. I don't know. I just have her to talk to about it now that she's kind of made. She didn't make me watch it, but there's this other series that she mentioned, and I've tried to get into it, but it's in a foreign language. Like, I think it's 5 or 6 different seasons, and they're all in a different language, and that requires requires me to actually watch it. I can't knit and I can't, you know, do dishes or something while I'm listening to it. Like, I have to actually watch that one. So, we'll see. It's taking me longer to get through it. So I'm still on season 1. Alright, so I'm off camera on my left. I am tying some of those loose ends that I was just working with so they don't fall away because they're still pretty close to the work. So I don't want to pull anything too tightly and have it come off the needle. And I'm hoping by next weekend it'll be cooler, quote unquote, and I will be able to show you another project I'm working on that I actually just started that one this week, and I'm super excited about it. It's from a pattern book, so I'll be able to give you guys all the details during that time. And I don't have, oh, I almost forgot. I went to my book club last Sunday, which is why I had my filming session on Saturday, which was really long. And the person I thought about, I think I mentioned 2 episodes before that I was trying to recruit somebody to go to this book club. And she seemed super interested, but when the book club time rolled around, she said she couldn't view or she couldn't access the book on her Kindle. And granted, this was the weekend before the 4th of July when I had told her about it, so she had a few weeks to get everything situated. Now, of course, if you're on the fence about it, you might not go all out and try to get a copy of this book to read for the book club, but she seemed interested. Even if she might not make it, it seemed like she wanted to try. And part of that is that you have to read the book before you come. Like, that's the requirement of the group. You need to read the book. If you're new, you need to read the book so that you can contribute to the book club. And I was thinking you could have gone to the library, your public library, and got a copy of it, or just not use Kindle. But either way, she didn't come, and I don't know if I'm ever going to see her there because the next thing we're reading is very difficult. It is not conventional, and it's older work, and it's just not something a lot of people gravitate toward, and I don't think she's one, based on what she told me she likes to read, I don't think she's going to like this one. So it might be a while before I see her there because I will probably only be able to go to the one next month because my work schedule is going to be super busy with training, and just the beginning of the fall at my job is super busy anyway, so I usually miss at least 1 or 2 sessions right into fall at the beginning, and then I can start attending the book club again because of things settling down. Though there is one of my coworkers did say they might be able to kind of watch things for me if they end up working the same day one of my book clubs is, because they're like, oh, you know, you work a lot, and you know, you don't want to take away from your social life just to come in. I mean, and I really appreciate that. Like, you don't even know. Like, I really appreciate that, but at the same time, it's kind of part of my job, even though it's not the part I like. I absolutely wish I could have some more coverage on weekends so I don't have to come in, because I already work Monday through Friday, and I generally work 10-hour days, sometimes 12, depending on what's going on, and it's just a lot. It's a lot when you're trying to not be there like that, especially if you're not making more money, staying longer. And work-life balance is a big issue here in the United States. Some people say it's lack of work ethic. Some people say it's an unrealistic idea of work ethic to be at work so much. And, you know, compensation and all that stuff. And it it could go on and on and on. But basically, I might not be able to go to many more book club sessions at the end of the year because of work and because of my responsibility at my job and lack of coverage at my job for anybody else to do that for me or make arrangements so that I can go to this book club. And I'm used to it now. It's something I've learned to accept at this particular employer. But we'll see. It might work out, it might not. But I'm not holding my breath, that's for sure. Alright, so we just finished orange. Here we are. We were down here with the green tea, and then we knit the conch, and then we knit the caution, and then the conch again, and then the orange. So I'm not far, but you can see it takes a while, and with a little bit of chatter and everything, I still have a long way to go, because now I'm only just finishing row 103, and there are 365 days in the year, so I have, I'm a little less than a third of the way there. Not bad. So I think to spare us all more of me talking about random things, I hope you got a lot farther in your project today than I did, even with the kitty interruption, with the heat, with leaving my special scissors upstairs. It's been a day, but without keeping this video too long, I think it's a good point to cut it off at right here and say thank you if you've watched this to the end. I hope you have a nice, cool day and cool rest of your week, and I'll see you next week with a new episode. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.